Hi everyone, I'm going to do a CPR class for a family and the parents asked me to review the Dechoker. So I wanted to review it with you here. I do have one of these devices. It's not FDA mandated or regulated, has not been extensively reviewed or researched. So why do I have it, right? If your child is choking, and you've done the Heimlich for a kid who's older than 5. You've done the 5 back blows to 5 belly thrusts for a kid who's 1 to 5. You've done the 5 back blows or the 2-finger method for a baby or an infant. And the kid just is not relieving the obstruction. That's when I would do this. So let's look at this thing. So this is what the typical dechoker looks like. It has a little nozzle in there, and that's where the mask goes. It comes with a child mask and an adult mask, and you just put the mask into the bottom, and it's advised that when you need to use this, if you identify that a child is choking or an adult is choking, you put the mask on. This is the child mask, and you are going to encircle it around the nose and the mouth. You want to create a closed seal. So how do you create a closed seal? So in medicine, when we're using a mask and we want to create a closed seal, we use the C and the E. So the C is actually going to hold the mask, the base of the mask, onto the face, and the E is going to grab under the jawline for the patient right here. So that's typically if a patient is laying down, right? They do say that you can use this standing up on a patient, but if you're going to use this, you need to make sure it has a good seal, because what you're doing is you're pushing on this down, 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 and this is going to create a seal that you're going to then pull up with a swift motion to try and relieve the obstruction. Okay, so now my thoughts on this. There's a lot of different companies that make this. Again, it has not been extensively studied. It's not FDA regulated, approved, or recommended by the AAP. So as a pediatric hospitalist who teaches CPR, why do I have this in my home? I bought 2 of them, one for me, one for my mother, with specific instructions. So with the Dechoker, you can have this on hand. Let's say that your child starts to cough. They're eating or they've been playing with a little toy, they come up to you and they're coughing or they're holding their neck, and you can tell that they're choking. They have something that is partially blocking their airway. They are still coughing, which means they are still moving air. You are going to go and find your dechoker and grab your phone, because you want both of these things. God forbid you need to call 911 or you need to use this. So first and foremost, if there's someone in the house, you're gonna call for help, and you're gonna get your phone in case you need to call 911. You're going to encourage the child to cough because they're still moving air, so it's a partial obstruction. But if your child stops coughing, stops moving air, and is giving you all the signs that they're choking, right? Or they're turning red in the face or blue if it's a young child, you're going to initiate choking management. The 5 back blows with either the finger thrusts or abdominal thrusts in an infant and a young child, and then the Heimlich in a kid who's older than 5 or greater than 45 pounds. And this is my rationale, right? I don't work for this company. I don't have any ties to these companies. As a parent, if I am doing the appropriate evidence-based choking management of the Heimlich or the back blows, and my kid is not relieving the obstruction, let's say it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, and I'm getting to the point where I've already called 911 on my phone, and my kid might pass out, lose consciousness, and I might be moving into CPR, I'm gonna try this thing, because if I'm gonna be doing chest compressions and providing airway for my kid, I'm gonna try this thing before we get to that point. Now, my biggest concern with this was I don't want to push the object or obstruction further into the airway, but there is a valve on the bottom of this that allows air, instead of going into the mask and into the airway, when you push down on this, it allows air to come out the side of the mask. Now, that's theoretic, right? So what I would probably do is squeeze it like this before I put it on my kid's face to make sure that I'm not pushing air into the airway or pushing the obstruction further down, even though there is a valve and it should not happen. And then you're going to, with one fell swoop, pull this lever up to try and relieve the obstruction. You can do this a few times. I'm going to show you the algorithm that this company actually provides. So my specific dechoker is from LifeVac, and you can see that they also recommend that you are going to start with instructions encouraging them to cough. If the cough is not effective, you're going to, for the small child, give the back blows and the abdominal thrusts, okay? If it's not cleared, if I'm doing this for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and God forbid my child is getting to the point that they're losing their airway, I'm gonna need to do CPR. If the obstruction is not cleared, you're calling 911, and that's when I would use this. You're encircling the nose and the mouth with the mouthpiece. You're pushing down on the handle, okay? And you're pulling the handle up sharply and quickly, okay? And you can repeat it until the obstruction is resolved, all right? Or until the child needs CPR because they don't have a pulse or they don't have respirations. So again, as a medical provider, I don't endorse that you buy this. You don't need to have it. There's a lot of research that the Heimlich and the appropriate choking management plans alone are effective in most children. But I do have this as a last resort, as a last ditch effort in my home. So if you want help in learning how to do CPR, learning how to use this, give me a call. Happy to come over.